Hey everybody, it's Topwater Johnny, and in this bass fishing video, we're going to be talking about the topwater bass fishing lures I recommend for beginners. Because the goal when you are topwater bass fishing is to get a bite and to bring them in. So I'm going to share with you the lures that can make it happen. So let's go. Whoa, there we go. Yeah! Woo! Holy cow, folks. Topwater Johnny here, man. This is what we came here for. Look at that. Get back here. Look at that right there. That's the kind of beast that we came here for. There we go. Woo! And that one hooked. Hey everybody, Topwater Johnny here. Want to welcome you to the next video here. Please be sure to like, subscribe to the channel. As you saw in the headline, this is Topwater Bass Fishing for Beginners. And in this video, what I'm going to do is share with you the lures that I would recommend to anyone starting out topwater bass fishing. So if you're a beginner and you're just getting started with topwater, here are the lures that I would recommend that you buy in order to have more success. So this video is all about what lures will give you the most success, and also all the lures I'm going to recommend are truly affordable, and all of the links to these lures is in the description box as well. Now before we get started with the actual video, I want to share with you a couple announcements here. As you're watching this video, you might see a button right near subscribe where it says join. And what I've done is I've created a small little membership program here for the channel. And the reason I created this little membership program for the channel, it allows people who really do appreciate what I'm doing on this channel to make a small donation each and every month, as just saying, hey, you know what? I appreciate what you do on the channel. I've taken advantage of your recommendations. I really do enjoy what you are doing. So if you click on the link, the investment every single month is just $2.99. Not a lot of money, and the reason that I created this is because the lures and things I recommend from the places I recommend them do not have affiliate programs and do not have any type of commission-based systems set up. And because of that, I never receive any kind of compensation from any of these places that I recommend, even though I buy lures from them and I recommend them and I believe in them. So what I decided to do was through YouTube create a small little membership program here, which you simply click on it. It's $2.99 a month, and it simply says, I enjoy your videos. You'll get releases when they come out early. You'll get notified of those as well. But it's just a way of making a small donation to the channel in appreciation for the things that I've been doing on the channel. Now, it's not mandatory, but I really appreciate those that make a decision to do that. Second announcement, I did a survey like a week ago on the topwater lure class, the class that I would teach every single month on one lure. And on that lure, we would break down what that lure is, how to fish that lure, the components of it, where to fish it, when to fish it, why to fish it, and have a really deep conversation about that particular lure. And I offered that class as a questionnaire to the group, and people did fill it out. So if you're interested in joining the class once a month, go to my description box and you'll see at the top of the description box a link, Patreon/Topwater Bass Fishing. You click on that, you'll be able to go over there to that page. It's only $5.99 a month. And that allows you to have a private session with me. We'll either be live, we'll be on Zoom, but you'll be there with me and we'll talk about that lure. We'll talk about the challenges you may have with it, or we'll also talk about the opportunities that you can create by using it. That's only $5.99. That's a community type of thing for us where we all can come together and really talk about being more successful in our topwater bass fishing. So, once again, if you hit the join button, that's right on the YouTube page there, right in front of you. That's the, hey, I appreciate you, Johnny. Keep up the good work, $2.99. If you click on the description box, go in there and click on my Patreon link, that gets you enrolled in the class as well. So those are the two announcements that I have. Once again, like I said before, I appreciate each and every one of you. I appreciate the fact you come over and you watch my videos as well. I'm not trying to pressure you, but I'm trying to let you know what I'm doing so that if you make a decision to participate, you have a way of participating. Now, when it comes to this video here that you're about to watch, in the description box are links to all of the lures that I am currently going to describe in this video. So every lure I talk about, go to the description box. There is a link in there that leads you over to Amazon where you can actually purchase that lure. So I want to make sure that I'm totally transparent that I'm recommending lures that you can buy from Amazon, which does allow me to receive a commission on these particular lures. Now, I can't say every lure in the future will I ever receive a commission on, but for these lures, I will. So I just want to be totally transparent and open with you guys here. So what we're going to do now is go ahead and get into our lure review of the top water lures for bass fishermen who are beginners. So once again, like the channel and let's get started now. Okay, everybody, so let's go ahead and get started here. Let's start out with the first lure that I would recommend that someone brand new that's a beginner of topwater bass fishing, someone brand new getting started, here's the lure that I would first recommend. And the first one has to do with speed and having a lure that can get across the water, but you don't have a lot of trouble running it across the water. And the first one is, of course, the Whopper Plopper 60, or I'll bring this one up here, the Whopper Plopper 75. One of these two right here. Now, either one you can buy at the store, but I would really recommend the smaller versions first for a brand new beginner, because with the smaller version, you're going to be able to get more strikes and more opportunities if you fish the smaller versions first. Now, you can go up to the 75 right here, which is the next one up here, a little bit bigger here, of course. But these lures, one, we already know they work, but most importantly, you can fish them in open water where you can just cast them out and wind them back in on spinning tackle. So you don't even need a bait caster to fish this lure. So you can use the standard 7-foot rod, medium heavy, medium rod with braid or with fluorocarbon or with monofilament, whatever you got. Throw it out there and just wind it back in with a steady retrieve and listen to the plopping noise. Make sure you're listening to that. And then when the bass hits it, hold for a second. I know it's going to be exciting, but when they hit it, hold for a second, feel the weight first, then set the hook, and your chances are you will bring that fish in. So the first lure is all about speed, getting across the water, open water, and that would be either the Whopper Plopper 60 or the Whopper Plopper 75. All right. Okay, the next lure up here now, we've got one that has a lot of speed, but we also want one that has speed but also can go through cover as well. So if you're fishing in your ponds or in your lakes and there's lily pads, open sparse areas where, you know, a plopper would get tangled up, here's the lure I want you to get, which is the Booyah Toad Runner Junior. Notice right here, I showed it to you right here as well. The Toad Runner Junior here by Booyah. Another great lure here. It's got the plopping noise in the back here with the boot tail, that kind of the tickler, but it also allows you to run across the lily pads and sparse covered areas and not get tangled up. The other reason I really like this lure for beginners is because look at that amount of hook available right there. That's what's so powerful about it. A lot of frogs sometimes don't allow a lot of hook to be exposed, but this particular lure, the Junior, is really soft. And just look at all of that hook that shows up. So if you're brand new to bass fishing, you want to have success when you're fishing with a frog. Well, this first particular lure right here will give you that kind of success. You don't have to run it extremely fast. You can wind it slow with a steady retrieve. Of course, you can fish this when you're going through sparse cover on braid, but also, once again, because you're reeling it, you can use monofilament or fluorocarbon as well, because you're reeling it and you're keeping your rod tip high. So this would be the second lure I would recommend for anyone that's a brand new to the topwater bass fishing game. All right. Okay, and our third lure up, now it's all about, as a beginner, you'll see fish busting on top and chasing minnows. Now it's about matching the hatch. So when you see them busting, whether in the shallows or even further out in the water and you're casting out to them, you want to have something that can match the hatch and really allow you a chance at them to strike and for you to have a good hookup ratio. The lure I would recommend to that beginner is the Rapala jointed minnow. I have caught a lot of bass on this topwater lure right here. This is the actual Rapala, like I said, jointed minnow right here. It's even got a bill on the front of it here. So it will do a little bit of a dive if you wanted to, but it mostly stays directly on top. And this is the kind of lure that you don't just wind in. This is when you twitch. So you might reel it and then pop it, pop it, pop it, and allow it to do all the work because it's a jointed minnow right here. So you allow it to do the work. So you reel a little bit, pop it, reel a little bit, pop it, reel a little bit, pop it. And once again, when the bass strike at this, it's all about that hold for a second. Feel the weight. Allow them to strike and feel the weight of them. Then you set the hook. But this right here, great match to hatch. Great beginning topwater lure when you're trying to match the hatch in the very beginning. And you reel this one a lot slower and allow it to pause even more. But it still has great waking and movement because of that front bill right there. So this lure, once again, the Rapala jointed minnow. All right. Our next lure up here, and this one right here, really, they come in so many sizes and shape, but I actually recommend a popper as your next one here. Now, when it comes to a popper, as you can see, cut mouth in the front here, and just like the Rapala where you twitch, well, with a popper, you pop it. In other words, you just twitch it and allow it to pop and push water. That's all you're doing. It's popping it, allowing it to push water, popping it, allowing it to push water. Poppers come in so many different styles and shapes. In the description box, you'll see the one that I'm recommending. It's the Yo-Zuri. It's just a simple popper. You can get it at Bass Pro Shop. You can get anywhere. Nothing fancy about it. Got a rattle in it right here. This one right here, once again, open water, near cover, will work great. Monofilament, fluorocarbon, braid. You can fish this because it's going to sit on top and float. But the key is to pop it and hold. Pop it, hold. Allow it to call in the fish because that's what the rattle is in there for. It's to call them in. Most poppers will have a feathered tail so that when they see it pop, they have something to key on. That's why the feather tail is so important because it gives the bass something to key on when they strike at it. Most will come at it from the front, but a lot of short strikes happen when you're topwater fishing. So having a feather tail in the back really does make a big difference. So the next one up, and this is the one that's the most stationary of all of them because you just pop it, hold, pop it, hold, pop it, hold. And it's definitely a great lure for a beginner to start out with. Once again, when they hit it, wait to feel the weight, then lift up, and you should have them locked down because you got two trebles on front and back. All right. Okay. Now our next lure up, we've got to have one soft plastic here. I mean, you can always fish with worms, but I don't really fish with worms that much. But what I want to recommend to you when it comes to topwater and you're a beginner is to invest in a package of Zman FrogZs right here. Zman FrogZs right here. And simply put, this lure right here is a great beginner's topwater lure right here because simply you're just going to do a simple Texas rig here. Let's see here. Simple Texas rig here like this right here. Just as an example, simple Texas rig. And all you're doing is throwing it out and you're reeling it back in here and you're allowing the legs to do all of the kicking right here. Once again, you can run this through sparse cover, through heavy cover, reel it, you can stop it, you can reel it, stop it, allowing these legs here to do all the work in the back here. And this one, once again, catch a lot of fish, you'll catch a lot of bass on this lure as well here. What I like most about this lure is also its durability here. Look at this. This is crazy when it comes to Z-Man, but it's such a durable lure that your investment in a package of 4 is going to last you the whole season and potentially into the next season right here. So this is one where you just throw it into cover and just reel it through the lily pads, reel it through the grass, reel it through the gunk, and you will definitely be able to catch fish on it. Once again, spinning tackle works fine, braid, monofilament, fluorocarbon, any one of those, because this is all top water. As long as you are reeling it and watching the legs kick, then you are doing what this lure is designed to do. So this, once again, another great lure for a beginning topwater bass fisherman, the Zman FrogZ. All right. Okay, now that we've talked about fast lures, moving lures, and some lures that are even slow that you can reel slowly, let's talk about the slowest lures here. And this once again has to do with matching the hatch. If you're fishing in lakes and ponds where there are insects and bugs, one that you can invest in for sure is the Rebel bug here. This little Rebel bug right here is another great lure that will allow you to catch bass, because bass eat flies, they eat insects, and this lure right here has double hooks on it. In other words, there's hooks in the back and the front. It even has a bill in the front that allows it to even do a little bit of diving. But this lure right here, you just throw it out the middle of the water, edges, sides, and just tap it a little bit. Just lift your rod a little bit and twitch it and create little circular vibrations on the water just by raising up your lure, raising up the rod up and down a little bit, and that will just create little ripples. And then if you reel it, it'll twitch a little bit. It even makes a little bit of a rattling noise as well. This will get hit by bass, bluegill, crappie, anything that's in that water that eats insects will be going after this right here, which means you will have a lot of success fishing with this lure. It even dives a little bit. So this is just the Rebel bug right here, topwater lure, but it's also called a crank as well, crankbait. Now, another lure that's in that same category that I definitely would recommend if you were just saying, you know what, I like the Rebel, but I want a little bit bigger bug here because of the kind of dragonflies or bigger insects that you see on your water. The next one would be the Gizmo right here. This is another one that's a great one where the hook is already inside of the actual lure itself. So it runs from the body of the actual lure all the way through. As you can see, maybe you can see that right there. And the beauty of it is that you just throw it out and you just twitch it. You just sit there and you lift it up and let it twitch a little bit. And this right here will definitely, if they're busting on dragonflies, if they're busting on mosquitoes or insects of any sort, this really does match the hatch. It is a really great lure. I've got a video on it. I got videos on all of these, but that lure for sure will get bit by bluegill, by bass, by anything that's chasing dragonflies. So that lure also is a great lure. Now, like I said before, if you're not able to purchase this one right here as a beginner, then be sure you can get this Rebel bug. You can definitely get this Rebel bug just about anywhere out there, from Walmart's to, as I said before, I've got it on Amazon here for you, but you can get this almost anywhere, and it's a great insect to start out with to really get honed in on fishing with insect lures, because I'm here to tell you, insect bugs are a lot of fun to fish with. Cicada bugs, all of these things, bass will eat them. So that's why you want to have lures like this. So that's our final lure in the actual review of what I would recommend for topwater bass fishing. Okay, and here they all are again, just as a recap. First one up is the Whopper Plopper 60 or 75, the Booyah Toad Runner, the Rapala Jointed Minnow, the Zman FrogZ, the Popper, Yo-Zuri, and the Rebel Bug. These are the lures that I would recommend for a topwater bass fishing beginner. All right. Okay, everybody. Well, I hope you enjoyed that review of those lures there. Like I said before, those lures that I just talked about here are designed to really help that new beginner, that new topwater bass fishing person become more successful on the water, because that's really what it's about. Everybody says they love topwater bass fishing, but how many people take time to realize, like, where am I at in my topwater bass fishing skill development? Now, for me, every lure I recommended to you, I have fished that lure, I have caught bass on that lure, and from there, I have kind of grown into a more skilled topwater bass fisherman. I'm not saying I have all the answers, but you fish it long enough, you begin to understand what it takes to succeed at topwater bass fishing. Unlike any other style of fishing, topwater is one of those situations where someone else who you're fishing with might get 10 bites and you only get 2. But here's the thing, they will remember your 2 bites. We might not remember the other 10 that they got, but you will remember the 2 that you got. So that's why it's so important to really work on your skill set of timing and focus and really having the right lures at the right time. And so that's why I gave you these particular lures, because every lure is designed to fit at a certain time when you're fishing. The plopper is a faster lure, so that's open water movement. The frog, the Booyah frog, can go through sparse cover, but still has that plopping noise and movement. You've got the jointed Rapala Minnow that allows you to match the hatch, but yet it can slow down, but it can go fast as well. Then we moved on, and we've got the frog, the FrogZ, which allows you to go into cover, move around in there, make a lot of noise with those kicking feet, but it can hold as well. Then finally, when we go a little bit further down the line, we're in a popper. Open water, sparse areas where you can pop it, hold, and watch. That's a powerful thing. And then the lures for dead calm and when you're fishing slow is insects. So there's no waves on the water, there's no movement on the water, but they are noticing what's going on top of the water. That's when insects really come into play, and especially in the shallows and in open water, when the water is flat and dead calm, that's when those type of lures excel. So what I wanted to do here was really help that beginner topwater lure bass fisherman develop the right mindset to be successful at that type of fishing. So once again here, I just want to say, please leave a comment. Please give me your thoughts about what I did today in this video, and did it help you become better? Also, if you're interested in any of the lures that I have recommended, go to my description box, open it up, and there are links that takes you over to any one of these individual lures that you are interested in making an investment in. And that definitely does help me, and it does help the channel. So if you want to get one of those, please get it from the links that I have recommended here as well. Also, there's the join button. Don't forget, if you like what I'm doing over here and you believe it's helping you, and you've taken advantage of the things I've recommended in the past, and you really appreciate what I'm doing, then donate to the channel with that simple $2.99 monthly donation. I know it sounds like a telethon or something like that, but it does help me, really does help, and it really does push me to do even more. Also, if you want to take the class, click on the description box. Inside there's a Patreon link, Patreon Topwater Bass Fishing. Click on that link, sign up for the class, and we will go in depth on one specific lure every single month, and we'll go really deep about it. So what you saw here in this video is just a small taste of what I'll do on a much deeper level as we explore that lure and what it's capable of and what it can do. Now, next week, I'm going to have another video out, of course. Got some antique things to show you here. So these are some really old lures, but they're not old lures. They're old worms. And in this video that you're going to watch next week, I'm going to be showcasing two worms. One really long black worm that looks like a snake, and another one that's purple with white polka dots. And I got these from that estate sale. And so I didn't buy them. I got them from the estate sale, and I'm fishing them, and they are really great. So I want you to be sure to tune in for that one as well. Later on next week, I'll be doing a topwater bass fishing for people in the middle. So these are my intermediates, not my beginners. These are my intermediates. And I'll talk about the lures that I would recommend if you got all the beginner out of you. In other words, you say, I got that stuff. I want some more intermediate stuff, Johnny. I'm going to share with you some lures when you're in the middle. And then after that, I'll go into my wild and advanced type of topwater lure class, or meaning wild and topwater lures for those that are much more advanced and much more skilled. And I'll show you some lures that will challenge you to be a better topwater fisherman. But next week, it's our intermediates. So I just wanted to do this video. Hopefully this video has helped you out there become better and more skilled, and showed you what you can do to be more successful. So once again, this is Topwater Johnny saying that phrase. Keep your line tight, because when they hit those topwater lures, especially the lures I mentioned in this video for beginners, it's going to be a big bite. I'll see you in the next video.